Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of SATU TV. I'm Billy Bates.
Jones, McShine, we static in the underground. It's been a minute, Bill. What's been going on,
Yeah,
brother?
what's up, man? What is this, episode 6?
I think this is episode 6.
Episode 6. And, man, we're happy to be here. We're just going to double check real quick and make sure that we are live on YouTube. And survey says... yes, we are. Okay.
We are not live with Marshall Alexander.
Yeah, we are not live with Marshall Alexander, but we are live, and we're just happy to be here. Yeah, man. Life has come up and made people, me included, very busy in the last 2 months, and that's why it's been a while, but we're working very fast to get back on track and get back how we were, and I'm excited.
Close to April 12th.
Yes.
We're getting there.
Yes, April 12th. For those who don't know, we have a show booked at A&B Bar and Grill in Lugal, formerly known as Gadgets, where it is a cystic fibrosis benefit show, meaning every single dollar spent at that show on tickets, everything else is going straight to Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in the name of Team Lane.
Hashtag Team Lane, that's the boy.
And,
fresh haircut on Lane.
Yeah, fresh haircut.
Fresh cut.
His mom's been driving me crazy about getting his haircut, so.
Well, he looks better than you.
Yeah, that's for sure. That don't take much, but you are right on that. But yeah, April 12th at A&B Bar and Grill, we got our homies in Angry Chair, Alice in Chains Tribute, headlining, and we just added buddies of ours band Imaginary Enemy is going to be opening up that night.
Man.
So definitely come out. It's only $20 to get in. I think we're going to be doing a 50-50 raffle also. You can get you a chance to win you a little bit of money.
Let's think about SATU music, man. We're going to put you on the show.
Hey, that's right.
We're going to put you on.
You hit us up. I'm going to put you on the show.
Yeah.
Cause
sink or swim, baby.
Yeah, it's hard enough to find people that want to get on shows, and whenever I find somebody that hits me up first, I'm all about it.
Man, look, all the bands are good.
Yeah.
I can't even lie, dude. Like, if you legit, like, if I was a 13-year-old kid and all the local bands that you put on, if that was on a playlist, like, somebody gave me a burnt CD, I'd think that they were all signed.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And yeah, man, and we're working really hard. We've got some more shows lined up. We've got one booked in Columbia on April 20th. Shout out Kitty Cat.
Shout out to the cat.
Dude, let me tell you about this place, dude, in Columbia where I've been going to these shows.
The cameos?
Dude, shout out JoJo, man. My homie John, a.k.a. JoJo, owns a house in Columbia. And my man just throws shows in his living room. And it's so sick. It's the illest thing ever.
All those videos look like the illest. It's
so fun, and like everybody knows everybody. It's the same people that come to every show, and it's just all homies. It's awesome, dude. And we got a show booked on Saturday, April 20th at 4:20. Gonna be a fun day. We got Do Us Part from Greenville. We got the homies in Split in Two. Shout out Split in Two.
Hey.
These guys show up wearing these and mosh all night, and then get on stage, do their set in these, and then get back off stage and mosh the rest of the night in these.
Respect.
These ski masks.
Respect.
Yeah, shout out Split in Two. We also got Gut Bust from Atlanta. If you've never heard of these guys,
I haven't heard them.
Go check them out. Gut Bust out of Atlanta, Georgia. These guys are awesome. I'm glad I found these guys. I'm glad to get them in town. And then we got the band Refuser, which is Dylan is the lead singer of Split in Two, and he's also the drummer for Refuser. So he's going to be doing double duty that night.
Double duty. And
then headlining, we got Grady State all the way out of Maryland, coming all the way down to play the Commie House, dude.
Nice.
It's going to be sick.
You never know. It might be a SATU appearance that night.
Might be a SATU appearance.
I was able to finagle some things.
Yeah, it might be a SATU. We're definitely going to be hosting the April 12th show at A&B Bar and Grill. We're going to be having a good time. But yeah, 420 SATU will be in the house. We'll see what we got going on. And we haven't announced it yet, but save the date, May 18th. I got something else lined up at the Commie House. Going to be announcing that pretty soon.
All right, then.
That is going to be a sick lineup of bands that I'm not announcing yet. But
okay.
Very happy about that. And I'm just excited to have a venue close to home, man.
Dude, that's the thing. I don't
care if it's somebody's living room, dude.
I was having a conversation about that. I was like, all the good venues that we could actually draw a crowd to, It's hard to book a show. They're damn near impossible. You know what I mean?
Or they're not working with outside bookers anymore.
Then you look at videos from the Commie House and it's just packed. Like, who cares? It's a living room. It's a stage. It's a platform somewhere to build a scene. Like, who knows what can come from something like that?
And the scene is being built, and the guy who owns it, JoJo, he's really trying to build a community that he believes can foster and expand. And so check them out. It's Commie House SC on all social media. Instagram, the TikTok page is fire. They got so many dope videos of shows. And I worked a show there. I'm kind of one of the employees there now. I worked the door one night last Saturday, and we had a couple bands from Virginia come down, like legit punk bands.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's called Betty Gray. They were awesome. They headlined a 3-piece hardcore 80s style punk band out of Virginia, and they were sick. And during the set, most of the times when bands play there, the lead singer just holds the mic. There's no mic stand. But Betty Gray's a 3-piece punk band, and the lead singer was the bass player, so he had a microphone stood up, and the pit kept knocking it down. So, like, for the whole second half of the set, I was down on one knee just holding the mic stand, just kicking people away from it.
No, that's a show.
Yeah, it was awesome, man.
That's dope.
But yeah, definitely check out the Commie House on all social media. See the videos. Definitely make you want to come out, especially if you're into hardcore house shows like back in high school, man.
Yeah, if you want your boots in the air,
That's
we
right.
got a place for you.
Man, dude, we got some stuff to talk about today.
Man,
a lot of stuff has gone down.
Lots of things happening.
And let's see what's number one on the on your boys' list.
All right, the
Once
Dead
I
Sea
get
Scrolls.
to it. Yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I got my pen holding my spot. I already know what the first subject is, but I want to make it seem like we're official by open. There it is.
There you go.
And the first subject, P. Diddy.
Oh,
Man, we can't.
man.
It's got to be the first subject.
Oh, what has this guy been getting into his whole life?
His whole life.
And people have been saying it.
And that
For 20 years now,
Yep.
people have been saying, like, y'all think we're making this up? Like, this is real stuff. Like, how can 100 people tell the same story and be telling a lie? Meanwhile, he's just popping bottles. He don't care.
dude, all the stories online of like the comedians and stuff and other artists that's been saying this for years in interviews, and it's like, man, it's real.
It's real.
That's wild.
Said that he had like private cameras and stuff in his house, that he's just got like all these terrible videos of all these famous people, like actors, musicians, athletes.
His
Dude.
neighbors snitching on him, pulling up to the cops like, oh yeah, he has busloads of young people come here all the time.
Child trafficking
Man,
charges and
yeah.
stuff like that too.
And 50 Cent said it best. He was like, yo, they don't raid your house unless they got a case.
Yeah, that's the
unless
thing.
they got a case, man.
By the time the FBI comes, you already done,
Yep.
man.
And then he hopped on a plane, and he's not even in the country right now, I don't think. So, yeah, you snitching on yourself.
He's been doing weird things ever since that dude like admitted to killing Tupac too. It was
Yeah.
like right after that, he gave the masters, like all of his
Yeah.
artists, he just gave them to him. He sold Revolt to somebody.
It's like he knew he was going to have to get out the country, and they raided his house the day he was getting ready to do it, or he had to leave early because of that. But, yeah,
he wasn't there, right?
No, well, someone, you know how internet goes nowadays with AI. You got some people posting like mug shots saying that he's already caught. Those are fake. Like, and from what I understand, there were pictures of him in Miami pacing whenever he found out his California house was getting raided. And I think he knew because that house got raided, they were going to come look at that house in Miami. So he went to the airport, got on a plane, and dipped before. Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's wild though, because at first, the first couple days they were like him and Meek Mill were in a relationship, and I was like, that's an odd rumor. And then it was like his house got raided and blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, that whole Meek Mill thing was a joke, what it seems like. And but for sure, P Diddy's been going after, from what it sounds like, he's been dipping into young artists and yeah, and then the trafficking.
Hey,
shout out Wednesday.
Hey, shout out to the cat.
Wednesday making an appearance.
He's got to make an appearance.
But yeah, the P Diddy stuff is wild. That's wild, and that's still ongoing.
It's not one of them things that's just unbelievable, right? It's like one of them
right,
things that happen. You're like, oh, it took them a little while to get this one down.
right, and yeah, it's and you hear all the stories of how he's like done people wrong and stuff in the past, and there's the theory that he killed his ex-old lady, his last girlfriend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and then of course you got the Tupac rumors that have been going on forever.
Yep.
But yeah,
whenever I first heard that they were raiding his house, I thought that was the main thing.
right.
That it was like, because dude was like saying that he had like proof that Puff Daddy paid him to kill Tupac.
And that's been the story forever,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's wild for sure in music. And then, man, I want to just say this because it's already old news, but that whole Benzino Eminem thing, bruh, that video of Benzino crying on that podcast, being like, I don't want to talk about him no more. I'm done talking about
interview I do,
bruh,
man.
you the only one talking about it, dog.
The only person that's talked about that in the past 20 years.
You're the only one that's talked about it. And apparently there's footage of him going to Eminem's spaghetti restaurant in Detroit filming a diss track music video.
Good luck. Good luck.
He's going to get some clicks.
He's going to get some clicks, but that Doomsday 2 that Eminem put out, man, he washed Benzino. He should have known better.
It's wild, man.
It's just kind of corny at this point, though, honestly.
Yeah, it is, and it's very corny on Benzino's part. Like,
very.
Bro, you crying on a podcast, like
you see people
and I'm not saying dude,
Benzino gave y'all a vulnerable moment and y'all laughed at him. Like Benzino was like 55 years old. Yeah, I'm laughing at him.
Right,
I'm laughing at him the whole time.
And it's not. I'm laughing because he's like, I don't want to talk about it, and he's the only one talking about it.
The only person.
Like
if you didn't have this Eminem story, dude, you would have been nothing your whole. That's what you've been living off of your whole career.
Yeah, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll drop a whack diss track, and he'll get millions of views on it because it's about Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll just pray that Eminem writes a diss track back.
He ain't gonna write one back.
He shouldn't waste his time because he's old too now. He ain't got time for that. But
dropping a new album this year, Dr. Dre said. I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel.
I hope, man.
Yeah, he said that it's done. He said that M called him into the studio, let him listen to the whole thing.
Yeah. Speaking of new albums, it came out a few weeks ago now, but man, that Mexican OT album is
it's fire, right?
From start to finish, man.
Yeah, it's dope. He's dope.
If y'all haven't heard that, go check out that Mexican OT's new album. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's on all streaming platforms, and the whole album's good. Whole thing.
Dude, Joyner Lucas dropped that album, bro. That, man, I'm not the biggest fan of Joyner as a person. Like before he got famous, he's done some questionable...
Yeah.
Made some questionable business decisions before he actually got signed to Atlantic. But that album is tough, man. He's so good. Like, his writing ability, like, bro, he's crazy.
And then I heard that new song with him and Jelly Roll. A lot of people like it a lot.
Oh, man. That's if you know anybody, like, with addiction or you love anybody that's been through that, dude, that song will choke you up, man. Like,
yeah, a lot of people are saying that's the best song on the album. But,
I'm biased. My favorite song on the album is the one with Conway the Machine from Griselda, but everybody knows that's my favorite rapper of right now.
Right.
But dude, like they in their bag. It's no chorus. It's just like 2 24-bar verses.
Straight bars.
Kill it.
Old
bro.
school.
Old school, man.
Yeah, man.
The man said sticks and stones will break your bones. I'm sticks and stones. I was like, all right, now, dude. It sounds so simple, but that's one of the coolest things I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, man. I had speaking of diss tracks, that new Kendrick Lamar and Future and Metro Boomin.
It's tough,
track.
right?
And it's a cool diss track because it's a diss track in the way where if you ask him about it, he could be like, "No, I wasn't dissing nobody," because it was like sneak disses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they clearly was.
But you could tell, like, if you know, like, Drake's last album, For All the Dogs, and like all the little references, he's like, but going on a Metro Boomin and Future album and calling Drake a straight up bum. That's tough. Like all three of them knew what was coming out of this stuff. I'm interested in because Future and Drake were always cool. So something happened in between that. Rumor has it has something to do with a girl.
Not only that, but also these men are very wealthy and they're very smart with how they do their music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think possibly we've had this conversation before about like fake
It being a work.
fake beef? Yeah, like it being a work,
Yeah,
a wrestling work.
I could definitely see that, Kendrick and them messaging
Right.
Drake like, hey, we're going to put out this album. It could be the most talked about thing. Kendrick's going to slightly diss you.
And then y'all can diss us.
Yeah.
And then we all show up on stage at Coachella and the crowd goes wild and it's the biggest viral clip.
And then we make millions and millions of dollars for putting together
I remember a
while
while back, right when
that wouldn't surprise me.
Right when Drake popped off like really big, there was people saying like, yo, he's dissing Eminem this, and then he did a concert in Detroit and had Eminem rise up through the stage, and it was the biggest social media clickbait for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And they make money off of them views.
Eminem mentioned that recently in a song. He said something about who had the best verse on Forever. You remember they did that song?
Yeah.
It was like Kanye, Drake, Eminem, and somebody. I don't remember. But yeah, I could definitely see it being a work with them being as close and tight as they are, especially knowing that they have those big time record deals. Like somebody has to listen and clear all of that before it's ever released. You know what I mean? I have a hard time believing that they're just like, yeah, you know what, whatever. I don't see why Kendrick Lamar and Drake would be beefing, especially with Future and Metro Boomin. That they all have a tight relationship. We're talking like 10 years deep. Yeah. Over 10 years deep of them doing music together and.
That's why I don't believe that whole theory that it's about a chick. Like,
And not only that, they're saying that the beef is between Drake and Future. Future didn't say nothing about nobody on that song. He just did his dumb, like, not rhyming, ad-lib Future stuff. And then Kendrick come on there and just ate that thing alive.
Yeah.
I like it, though. Like, why not? I'd love to hear what Drake would have to say to Kendrick Lamar in a diss song.
Yeah, or who his ghostwriter would have to say about it.
That's going down. They asked J. Cole about it, and J. Cole was like, man, I don't give a damn about none of that.
Yeah.
Like, J. Cole doesn't play into none of that stuff, man. And if we're being honest, he's a better rapper than Drake and Kendrick Lamar put together, if you ask me.
Yeah.
J. Cole gets busy.
Did you see the, you know how they got the ongoing court sessions of Young Thug and all them down there? Did you see that stuff about that one of his lawyers got fired and arrested?
I did see that.
Yeah, she was talking to him, calling him daddy in text messages and stuff. Yeah. Like, and they found out that they had a relation, and she was like doing stuff outside to help him out and stuff, like going in the streets telling people not to talk and stuff like that, and like. Man, it's not looking good.
It ain't looking good. It looks like Young Thug, but dude, they are cracking down on every tiny little thing that they can. They got them boys in there showing their why do you have a K instead of a C in your tattoo? Like any little thing that they can do to show that this is like a whole like gang operation, which is right there in front of your face. I don't know how they could possibly beat it. I really don't.
Yeah, and it's not looking. The longer it goes, I think the worse it looks for them. The longer the case goes.
Because the longer it goes, the more people are turning, dude. Young Thug's the only one not talking. He's the only one not saying anything. Like all of his little artists, just like they was gonna kill this person on this day at this time.
And when they do, that's a big reason why they like doing those RICO cases, because they get to lock up everybody, and somebody's gonna snitch.
All of them are snitching. Yeah. Like every single one of them. They had that one dude in there. They released the whole. It's a whole big deal too about them releasing their interrogation videos. And this dude was saying, he was like, it's at 6 o'clock. He gave them the drop on a murder that was happening that night.
Man.
And he was like, you could save 3 people's lives tonight, but you got to let me go. And he gave them the whole layout, and it was legit. They busted on it, trunk full of guns, like crazy stuff, man. You know, we've always been on that same thing. Like, dude, you give us millions of dollars to do music. I ain't doing nothing illegal, man. Talking about selling drugs and gang shit. Like, why would you do that? Honestly.
It's that old saying, man. Take them out the hood. You can't take the hood out of them, bro. Like, that's just wild. But then again, you got that whole situation where, like, you get money hungry, you get greedy, and it's like, man, I do got millions of dollars, but I can buy a big pack and flip that. Yeah. And get, you know what I mean?
There ain't no telling who's all in their ear with that stuff, too. Yeah. Like, hey, you came from here. Like, you got this money now. Like, you're giving it back. Because there's got to be bigger players than Young Thug in this whole thing. There's got to be.
Yes, that's a good point.
There's got to be bigger players. Like who's he? Who are they getting all this dope from? You know what I mean? That's the people that you want.
Exactly.
You ain't never
and
getting
they probably
there.
ain't in this country.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's wild. Man.
Shout out to Young Thug, man.
Yeah,
we miss you, bro.
Yeah.
Really hate what your people's doing to you.
I missed them videos whenever he first got locked up, and it was like me in the jury
when they playing
the Young Thug, and he's over there mouthing the song. And Oh man,
bang head.
Yeah, it's fire.
It's fire, Your Honor.
Yeah. Guilty of song being fire.
Guilty of being absolute flames.
Yeah, man.
But you remember, man, like we always said, like there's something up with that Young Thug dude. For him to do all the weirdo stuff that he did, like the way that he dressed, wearing Victoria's Secret clothes, and nobody with that held weight would actually say anything bad about him.
Right, yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, you're right. And yeah,
then you see him in like interviews and stuff, and he's so well spoken and articulate. He doesn't sound anything like he sounds on his music. Like he's not no dumb person, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Surrounded by dumb people for sure.
Yeah. Did you see the MGK's new tattoos?
Oh, the blackout tats?
Yeah.
Yeah, can he get any more weird, bro?
And he's changing his name to MGK. He doesn't ever want to be called Machine Gun Kelly anymore.
Didn't he say he just wanted it to be Machine?
Yeah, but he started that, and then people were ragging on him because they were like, "We already got Bert Kreischer.
Yeah,
he's the Machine.
We already got a Machine."
And now he's like, he just wants to be called MGK. He doesn't want to be called Machine Gun Kelly ever, even though MGK is short for Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, if I interview him, that'd be the first thing. So I heard you changed your name to MGK. What does that stand for?
That's
Mr. Gone Kelly.
Yep.
Out of his mind.
Yeah. More power to him though.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got any more music.
You feel like MGK is gonna be one of them people that like once he hits like his in between 40s and 50s, he's just gonna like completely lose his mind.
Like Aaron Carter did?
Yeah, like one of those stories, because I can never tell if MGK is like trying to look like a depressed emo weirdo, if that's just like his gimmick that he's trying to pull off.
I think it's a gimmick because he used to not have that gimmick.
It's true.
He used to be a legit rapper.
Got to sell to them 13-year-old girls, man.
I mean, that album did sell, and he won awards for it.
That's the thing about MGK.
That's what happens when Travis Barker produces your album.
However, MGK is a bad boy artist. He has a lifelong contract with Puff Daddy, so that'd be interesting to see how that's gonna work out.
Yikes.
Yeah, when he signed with Puff Daddy, it was like Puff Daddy got him when he was like 19 years old and broke. Like spent all of his money to enter. It was like this big talent contest they did in New York, and him and his boy, that's still this hype man, they went up there, they won, and as soon as they won, Diddy was like, "Hey, the tall white dude, like, go get him." So he had one of his people go get MGK and was like, "Hey, you're having dinner with Puff Daddy tonight." And they said MGK, he didn't have a shirt on, nothing, like they just drug him out that venue, stuck him at a table with Puff Daddy, and Puffy handed him the paper and pen, like, "Here you go.
Yep.
I got you." Yeah. You know, when you broke, you 19 years old, I'd have signed that thing so fast.
Yeah, 100%.
It's worked out for him.
100%, man.
But very interesting to see how that's going to happen, because he's definitely got to be Puff Daddy's #1 selling artist.
Yeah.
And has been for a long time.
Yeah, shout out King Razor in the chat.
Hey, what up, Razor?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for that new track y'all got coming out, man. It's going to be good. I'm trying to think. Anything else music-wise? Like, any other new albums out besides those Mexican OT and Jordan Lucas?
Has Filth's album came out yet? Or is that...
I don't know if Filth's album has come out, but I do know that Candescent dropped an EP, 6-song EP, and it's fire.
I listened to the intro on that.
Yeah, it's fire. Fleshgate's got new music coming out. Fire.
When I say Jump, their album that they put out, dude, if you if you grew up with us during that time of the big emo rock pop, dude, this sounds just like that stuff. Dude. That whole album is fire, bro. I love that band.
Dope, man. Check them out. When I say Jump, out of Columbia, our homie Brad's a guitar player.
My boy.
Yeah, he's also working on another band. I think he's almost lined up with that. He's looking for a drummer. He's got a deathcore project.
Aren't we all looking for a drummer?
Yeah, drummer or bass player, man. I'm thinking about learning bass just to be a fill-in at all these hardcore shows.
I got you.
All these hardcore shows I've been going to, at least one band is just like, our bass player ain't here. And like they just play without a bass player.
I saw a meme. It was like the bass guitar that was used for And Justice for All, Metallica's album. A dude standing there, and another dude like, there wasn't any bass on And Justice for All.
Oh man, people hate on that album, but I love that album.
I do too.
That's one of my favorite Metallica albums, but they definitely fell off after that came out. But yeah, man, I think it was either yesterday or day before yesterday was the 30th anniversary of Nirvana's last live show that they did. It was I can't remember what city it was in, but it wasn't recorded. It was like their last show on the tour. And it was 30 years ago, 1994. Because Kurt died in March or February of 94. I know it was before his birthday, which was April. I think it was in March. I might be wrong. Right. Someone's in the comments probably pissed off at me for not knowing, but
these jerk offs don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. But,
we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't. He died in April of 1994.
Yeah. April 94. Shout out
Jamie over there.
Yeah, shout out our
fill-in producer.
Yeah. I keep staring off into space. I'm going off an edible right now, so bear with me.
I'm going off of taking way too long of a nap today.
Man, them naps are good, though.
Dude, the I don't have to work or actually do anything now. I woke up probably 8:30 this morning. I don't know when I fell asleep, but I know that she got off work and was like, "Are you still here?" I was like, "What time is it?" She was like, "It's 6." I was like, "Oh my God."
Oh man.
Yeah, those are the best.
New job's going well though.
I like it.
That's good, man.
I like it.
I knew that last job was stressing you out.
Oh God.
Wish them the best, but
wish them the best.
Wanted the boy to work a little too many hours.
We already know how them jobs go.
Yeah, man. Especially them
I'm gonna need you
jobs.
to do 10 different things, 10 different ways for 10 different people. I need you to be perfect at it.
Yep.
Wrong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new place though, man. Y'all 518 Smokehouse in Chapin, South Carolina.
Hell yeah.
Get you that pick 3 with that mac and cheese and baked beans, baby.
Yeah. Sweet tea.
Sweet, yeah. Keep it coming. Bring a picture. Bring a picture.
Yeah, man. And that damn, everybody's got the conspiracy theories going on about that bridge collapse in Baltimore.
Of course they do.
It's tripping me out, man.
Somebody legit
Everyone's
broke
like,
it down.
Dude, that's a tragedy, but what's funny about it?
Oh, dude, at this point, nothing can happen without it being a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Like, is it so hard to believe that a boat hit it and knocked it down? Like,
yeah, is it so hard to believe that the captain might have had a few too many brewskis and
some cold ones, if you will.
Yeah, they are responsible for all them people that passed away though. I think I can't remember the number, but I think it's 20-something people.
Is it 20
that they believe were on the bridge when it collapsed.
Last I checked, it was 11, but
hopefully that's the lesser number. That's terrible though.
That's great. Can you imagine the people that have to commute over that bridge to go to work in the morning?
Yeah, that would be like the bridge here going down, and you know what I'm like. We would be lost.
Now, if y'all want to talk about a conspiracy about a bridge, that's the one. All of a sudden, the Carolina Cup is about to be here, and it's just like, oh, guess what, y'all? Yep. All those bridges are fixed.
Nobody's been working on it, but it's fixed now.
All of a sudden.
It's all open. I guarantee it's shut back down on Monday right after the Cup.
Oh, shut completely 100%. Down. They better hope don't nothing happen with all them cars piling up on that thing if it's not actually ready.
I know I drive across it every day to go to work, and I do not ride on the left side, that's for sure. I stay on the right side of the bridge. Man, I know it's been a while. We'll jump into some sports. It's been a minute since this has happened, but I wanted to talk about it. Did you see that Cam Newton fight at that
Cam Newton
at that football camp?
Cam Newton wearing them boys out.
My man had 3-4 dudes on him, and he's just standing tall, punching them in the head. Boom.
I don't think his hat ever came off.
Nope, not once.
It's an expensive hat.
Yeah, man, looked like Medea out there beating them.
Damn, he did.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I wonder what happened with that.
You don't know, because I haven't heard.
I don't think they've. I think they've just been keeping it low. There's probably still charges pending, so like they can't talk about it.
Cam was out there telling them boys they was trash.
Dude, there's so many videos, and I get the Cam Newton haters. I've got hate for him too. Whenever he didn't dive on that fumble in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're never coming back from that, brother. Though,
there's so many videos of Cam Newton like taking his personal time and going to these football camps, and these kids just talking trash to him. Like, bro, my man was an MVP quarterback in the NFL, something you might not ever get to experience.
Rookie of the year.
Like, brought a franchise from the dirt to the top of the game in just a few years. Like,
yeah, you can hate Cam all you want, but to say that Cam was trash as a player, you've lost your mind.
And to say he's not a good guy outside of sports, you've lost your mind. Because my man was always feeding the communities in Charlotte. He was always doing the children's hospital visits.
Always. Cam ain't never had no scandal. Well, besides the college thing, like we'll let that be. But as far as like his decisions as an adult,
that scandal is legal now. That scandal is legal in college now. You pay kids to come to your school, so you can't, you know.
Well, kids should do that. If those was one of my, imagine Lane's at a football camp and he does something like that. Could you imagine how the parents feel though? Yeah. Honestly, dude, I would be livid with my son. I'd be
so upset.
For like, one, you got your ass whooped.
Yeah.
For two, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? Even if the four of y'all did beat him up, now what's the point of that? Like, and guess what? You didn't.
You didn't.
Because that man's 6'8".
Yeah, like
NFL player,
260 pounds, solid,
still in shape, trying to get signed
every day.
Still trying to get signed. You know what I mean? So them kids are dumb.
Yeah, dumb.
Man, a lot of stuff going on in the NFL though with trades and stuff. Man,
Titans loaded up.
I tell you what though, that hip tackle stuff.
I don't understand it, dog. I don't know how it's supposed to work.
This season, there's not going to be a moment where Baltimore does a read option and hands the ball to 260-pound Derrick Henry, and he's running full speed downhill, and there's a 6'1" strong safety.
Yeah, looking like me out there.
And he can't hip tackle now. He's just going to get out of the way.
You might as well.
Why am I going to get run over and get played on?
If I'm hawking somebody down, how am I supposed to tackle them from behind without dropping my hips?
Exactly.
I can't jump on their back. I can't horse collar them.
You can't dive at their knees, and now you can't hip tackle them. And don't get me wrong.
I've never heard of that before. Hip drop tackle. I've never even heard of that. It's a tackle.
Right. And it sucks because people do get hurt, but man, it's already the safest that it needs to be.
I'm saying like if you're going to get hurt playing football. There is a 100% chance, not an 80. If you play the sport of football professionally, there is a 100% chance you getting hurt, bro. Yeah. Like, how did you know that in your mind? Everybody knows this, but it seems like these guys get in the league and they get entitled and they're just like, well, I don't think we should be touched.
Right.
Period.
And you get to a point where, like I said, you just like, how am I supposed to do this, man? You know?
I don't understand, because that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go to a perfect form tackle, if that running back runs through you just a little bit, you don't have time to think, like, am I dropping my hip? Am I doing this? Your body's automatically going to do that.
The goal is to get them to the ground.
That's it. So it's like if they don't go down off of initial contact from a form tackle, you just have to let them go.
And it's like I said, you can't go high, you can't go low. And then you had J.J. Watt was like, okay, well, if we're worried about safety of players, let's have offensive linemen not be able to dive at my knees anymore.
How about that, though?
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many defensive linemen that just get their knees chopped every single play.
Every play.
Aaron Darnold just retired early. Arguably early. He was still one of the best defensive linemen in the league, and he retired this year. I guarantee you his knees are a problem. I guarantee you that his knees are a problem. Yeah. And that's probably one of the reasons he's retiring early. And, you know, you get to the point where it's just like, if you keep making it more safe, I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
And think about it like this, like somebody like J.J. Watt, those guys are 6'6", 250 pounds. They're bending 6 inches off of the ground to get to the quarterback. How are they, if they're already at a full bend and they get to the quarterback, do you want them to readjust, stand straight up? Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. And the fact that coaches and owners were all in agreement to this, I don't know, man.
Hey, can you open up that door real quick? The not that one, but the one to the outside, and see Wednesday might need to go outside. Shout out Kitty Cat.
Shout out to the cat.
But yeah, the football is getting lame. It's been getting lame, and it's getting lamer fast. And they are, from what I understand, though, they are changing the kickoff now. It's going to be like the XFL kickoff.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not either, because you're going to have returns now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's barely ever returns now in the NFL since they moved the kickoff up to where it's always touchbacks.
Only 87% of kickoffs last year were touchbacks.
Right.
They're talking about adding like 1,000 plays to a season, like being able to have the kickoff. And football's not exciting without a big kickoff, man. That used to be it. You know what I mean? And
yeah, it was a moment.
It was kicking the ball for no reason.
Momentum changer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the momentum gets changed quick on kickoff.
I mean, think about
touchdowns.
Super Bowl between the Bears and the Colts, opening kickoff. Devin Hester takes it to the house, touchdown.
And how many times have you had a game where you're down by 2 touchdowns? It's late in the game. Bam, we score. Bam, kick the ball off. We cause a fumble on the kickoff, and now we're right there about to tie the game up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I love kickoffs. I always have. Always. Kickoffs, punt returns are fun. They can change the game. There's been many games last year. 2 years ago when Carolina beat Clemson, we won that game because of special teams.
Yep.
100% won that game because of special teams. We had like 2 fumbles on special teams.
And it's saving people's jobs. Could you imagine like making a team as a kick returner, then all season they're looking at your film like, well, we don't have nothing on film to keep you. Like, we can literally put somebody back there for league minimum because they're not going to have to do anything anyway.
Right. And then you won't ever have another Devin Hester. You won't ever have another Deion Sanders returning kicks.
Yeah. What was his name? Deshaun Jackson for the Eagles. Like, stuff like that. That's game-changing.
Captain Mutterlin made his career in the NFL by doing kick returns.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure did.
A lot of South Carolina guys were big in special teams in the NFL.
And even guys on the kickoff team, you know, like that's how they make the team, going down there and making tackles. If you don't give them a chance to put anything on film, how are they supposed to get a new contract, get a new job?
Yeah, 100%. And, so shout out to NFL making kickoffs better, potentially.
Yeah, but we need to let defenders tackle, for God's sakes. Like, there's never any rules that come on the offensive side of the ball. It's defense every year. Can't do this, can't do this, can't do that. So it's like there's never going to be a such thing as you being in such perfect position to where you can make a perfect form tackle every time. That's a game of angles. It's a game of inches. Like, somebody's coming around the corner and you're going to tackle them. How are you supposed, like you're saying, Derrick Henry coming around the corner, there's a strong safety that weighs 185 pounds. What do you want him to do? Just get mollywopped? Because that's what's going to happen.
Exactly. And another thing I'd like to say real quick on the hip drop tackle, because it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, I think it should be reviewable, just like the helmet-to-helmet.
It's got to be.
Because the refs are making those calls right then live, and it's split seconds. It's fractions of seconds of that you see this stuff. So if you're going to throw a 15-yard penalty, just like the helmet-to-helmet contact, it should be reviewable 100%.
And I still don't understand what makes it a hip drop tackle. You know what I mean? Like, how do you judge that? Like, what if I go to tackle this dude that's twice my size, twice as strong as me? I just don't understand what they want him to do.
They read the actual description of it on the Pat McAfee show, and it says any tackle from which the defender wraps one or both arms around around an offensive player's midsection, and then makes their self weightless.
Dude, come on now. All right.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes this year. That's going to cost a lot.
If I play defense, I would just practice picking motherfuckers up and body slamming them. Some bitches like, okay.
Yep. Exactly. And it's so bad, dude. It's just, the NFL is 100% an offensive game nowadays. There's no things helping out the defensive players.
I get that scoring's been down. They want scoring to go up, but like, at what cost to the integrity of the game, and making these defenders look like they don't know what they're doing? Because as soon as they have one thing that goes wrong, they get that close up on them on TV. They just make them look like they're bums. Like, you can be a cornerback and play flawless for 10 games straight and have one penalty on some shit that wouldn't have been a penalty 10 years ago, and they just act like they're the worst player. Yeah. And then causes problems for the players. They're just looking at it like, hey, I only had 4 catches on me for 50-something yards in 4 weeks, and I have this one thing happen, and then that's the whole narrative of me, is that I'm just trash.
Yeah.
Especially with this hip drop. You know how many broken tackles and how many people... I don't know. Like, I play defense. I don't know how you're supposed to think that fast on what you're not supposed to be doing when your job is get this dude on the ground. By what? By any means necessary. Now it's like, we're going to tackle him, but it's going to have to be absolutely flawlessly perfect every single time, or there's going to be a penalty.
And yeah, so that's it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, man. And then some good news though in the NFL, at least for the Panthers, we signed Jadeveon Clowney.
I love it.
Yeah, and we didn't have to spend that much money. We only signed him to a 2-year deal. So even if he gets injured, we can trade him away or whatnot. But I wouldn't mind seeing Clowney finish up his career in Carolina. You know,
man,
South Carolina native, great college player. Has had a good NFL career. Not as good as we were hoping, but he's had a couple Pro Bowl years, and he's been a factor on the field.
Last year he tied his season high in sacks. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like he's still on it. He can still play.
Yeah, but the Titans did do pretty good.
Calvin Ridley. Yep. I mean, dude, to be a second-year quarterback and Will Levis, who a lot of people thought was gonna could have been the first pick in the draft, could have been the first quarterback off the board. You never know. He played for Kentucky, so the film wasn't great.
Right.
But he balled last year, man. He had that one game where he threw 3 touchdowns to DeAndre. DeAndre Hopkins had 4 catches for 150-something yards, 3 touchdowns. That's what you want. And having Hopkins and Calvin Ridley as your receivers, pretty good. Hate that Derrick Henry's not there, but I'm actually glad he's not. I would like to see Derrick Henry be able to win a Super Bowl and be with a team that could actually.
Yeah, and if he stays healthy, man, that's. Thought their running game they were the number 1 rushing team last year, and now they got Derrick Henry to add to it. They gonna be straight.
In Tennessee, we picked up Tony Pollard from Dallas to play running back. We'll see how that goes. L'Jarius Sneed at corner. That was probably the biggest free agent signing of them all.
There for sure. And,
he's the reason that the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl when he punched out that fumble at the goal line playing Baltimore last year. I mean, that stuff right there, man.
Pittsburgh had a great trading season this year.
I'm excited for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they picked up Russell Wilson and they signed Justin Fields. And I'll tell you what, I hope all the bad things happen to the Bears because they made the wrong choice.
Yeah, they did.
I'll tell you, though,
they literally built the whole team, and then as soon as they get a squad, they're like, all right, now Justin Fields is out of here. They shit on him, dude. That's what they did.
I'll tell you what happened, too, what I think happened. I bet originally the Bears weren't wanting to trade Justin Fields, but they were wanting to trade that number 1 pick down. What they wanted to do, they probably wanted someone else's first-round pick for that pick and 1 or 2 more picks later on in the draft.
That makes sense.
And I guarantee you nobody was willing to do that. And then whenever Pittsburgh got Russell Wilson, they were the number 1 contender to try and get Justin Fields. And Pittsburgh probably told them they didn't want the extra picks. And so then the Bears were like, all right, well, I guess we'll trade him and we'll keep the number 1 pick. Dude, they should have just kept the number 1 pick and picked up Marvin Harrison Jr. number 1.
Seriously,
he's good enough to go number 1.
But it seems like these teams are scared. If we don't have a franchise quarterback, we have to take a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's stupid, man. It's if you're not a quarterback or an edge rusher, you're not going number 1.
They 100% should have got Marvin Harrison Jr. and just told DJ Moore, hey, this is your protege. Take him under your wing for the first 2 years.
Make it happen. Yeah.
He's going to be the future of this team. And with both of them on the field at the same time, DJ Moore and Marvin Harrison Jr. And then the Bears have another first-round pick. That's where you should have got your offensive tackle.
Because there's plenty. Dude, there's good tackles in the draft right now. What you think about Caleb Williams, man? He's going to be the quarterback. How you feel about him? I hope
all bad things happen to the Bears.
Dude, I feel like he's a talent, but you know who I'm comparing him to? Just the vibe that he gives me. Vince Young.
Yeah.
It's not going to go his way. He's going to act like a diva. He's going to whine and cry and bitch. And that's not Chicago Bears football.
And he is talented, man. And there's so much good footage of him. But he didn't win anything in college.
He didn't win.
He won a Heisman. And there was no reason for them to lose to Tulane last year. And there was no reason for them to lose 4 games this year.
Wasn't the Tulane game the one where he jumped up in the crowd crying to his mom?
No, that was this year. That was their last game this year. The Tulane game was their bowl game last year.
Oh.
And Tulane was 10-2, and it was the biggest bowl game they had ever been in. And they were playing Southern Cal. I think it was the Cotton Bowl. And in my opinion, that was the best football game 2 years ago ever of that season. And Tulane came back from being down like 13 with like a minute and a half left and beat Southern Cal.
Can't let it happen.
Yeah, because that was the year Caleb won the Heisman. He didn't even win the bowl game that year. Like, Caleb Williams hasn't won anything in college except for a Heisman, and they should have won at least one national championship or at least been in the playoff. They didn't even make the playoff either year.
We'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how you got Justin Fields on your team. Like, you know what's gonna make our team better? If we just get rid of him and draft Caleb Williams. We ain't done shit, man.
But the Pittsburgh smart. They signed Russell Wilson 1 year. Bam, you're starting Justin Fields. You're riding the bench. You're gonna watch Russell Wilson.
And they got him for a bag of chips and a soda, man.
Yeah.
$1.2 million.
Yeah, and they got Justin Fields for a 5th-round pick.
And if you think that they ain't drawing up plays specifically for Justin Fields, you crazy, because he's gonna be on that field.
And if
he's
you
playing.
Think Chicago Bears fans aren't upset, you're wrong, because they are. They are not happy with
I've seen the talk, and they're right. You know, like you draft a quarterback first overall in a rebuild stage. You finally get the team rebuild. Get rid of your quarterback. Bring in a brand new one. That's counterproductive.
It's wild. In college football, nothing crazy coming out of South Carolina, of course.
Both of our running backs are down for the spring with shoulder injuries.
Great.
Juju McDowell
awesome.
And his backup. Can't remember the kid's name, but yeah, we don't got no running back.
Hooray.
Great.
I don't know who our starting quarterback's going to be. One thing, I know we've talked about this almost every time we bring up college football, but it's the new NIL deal stuff. There's a wild story coming out, and it was on the Pat McAfee show, so I believe it's credible. I can't remember the kid's name, but he lives in Iowa, and in high school, he committed to Alabama. And before after last year, I can't remember if he played at Alabama for a year or if he's still like an underclassman. But recently, he decommitted from Alabama and committed to Iowa, which is his home state team. So Iowa's super happy. I believe this guy's an offense or defensive lineman. He's like a 4 or 5 star prospect.
Yeah, he's a defensive. An offensive lineman. I think he's
so he decommitted from Alabama, committed to Iowa, got $100,000 in NIL, and then recommitted to Alabama.
Went back to Alabama.
How's that right?
They don't have any type of structure with
They've got to get contracts. They've got to sign these kid contracts, man.
Hey, you sign this, you ain't going
nowhere.
You
want $100K, you got to play 2 seasons for us. You know what I mean? Or sign them to 3-season deals. And if the player's smart and let them get agents, the agents will be able to coach them into, hey, that's not a good deal. We can get more somewhere else. Or you know what I mean? There's no reason for that kid to be able to fake his school out for $100,000.
Dude, how about Ice Cube offering Caitlin Clark $5 million to play in the Big Three?
And she'll still be able to play the WNBA season. I thought it was he wanted her to just play in there and not WNBA, but she'll still be able to play the whole WNBA season and do that on the side.
Dare I say she'll get her shot slapped around like crazy out there playing with them ex-NBA players?
Yeah.
Or do you think that she would actually be?
She'll probably be all right to play because it is more offensive based. The Big Three, I love it. It's fun to watch, man.
It is. It's cool,
especially whenever you got big name retired guys playing. But I think she'll do okay, but she's not going to be dropping 40 points a game. But I think she'd be dumb not to do it. It's $5 million extra dollars. And it'll help you stay in shape. You know,
there ain't no telling what type of endorsement deal she can get out of that.
Somebody said the highest paid WNBA player last year only made like $500,000.
That's crazy, dude.
Caitlin Clark being able to make $5 million on the side, basically.
And who's the highest paid player? Is Asia Wilson that went to Carolina?
Yeah,
right?
I think so. But
speaking of, I saw something today that I thought was really cool. Let me make sure that I got my sources right. But there's a girl that plays for Camden, and
they won the state championship this year.
Yeah, and she is Gatorade's athlete of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right from Camden. She's a senior at Camden.
She must be a multi-sport athlete.
I think this one's just for basketball.
Dang.
It's like a female basketball athlete of the year.
That's awesome.
But
good for her, man. Shout out.
I saw a picture. I can't find it, and I can't remember her name, so I apologize. But There's a picture of her at B. Colson's beside the general manager at B. Colson's, and she looks like a grown man compared to him, dude. It's so funny.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
man, this female basketball, dude, is getting really good, especially like the high school, college. Like it's really getting good.
Yeah, I wonder if
But ain't nobody messing with them Lady Gamecocks, bro. Nah. Them girls are nasty.
Yeah, I wonder where she's gonna go to college at.
I wouldn't be surprised if she moved to Carolina. Hopefully, man. Why not?
Yeah, could use them always. Yeah.
You think they'll win it all this year?
I think they have to, man. They went undefeated last year and lost in the Final Four, and we're undefeated now. I think you got to win it this year.
I mean, beating teams by 50 points, like during March Madness,
the only team that's given our girls basketball team a good game this year was LSU, and I think maybe one more, but the LSU game was close. Like, we were down by 6 in the fourth, like, came back.
Didn't Angel Reese get fouled out of that game?
Yeah, she was pulling bitch's hair. That bitch is wild, dude.
Crazy. That big old 7-foot girl that they got, she come from like Africa or something, man. And she was about to whoop that fucking ass, though.
Oh, man.
The coach talking about, I wish she would have touched her. I was like, no, you don't.
And that's not how you handle that, coach.
Nah, coach, that LSU coach is iffy, man.
Terrible, man.
Kim Mulkey? Yeah, she's bad, dude. She needs to shut up.
Yeah, that's not how you handle that as a coach. Like, yeah, you can't have that, but I wish she would have pushed a bigger girl.
Really?
That's pretty.
So all them girls that cleared that bitch from South Carolina and whooped y'all's ass, because that's what was about to happen.
And Don Staley.
Then you'd have had to fight the final boss. And I ain't talking about The Rock.
Don Staley from Philly, bro.
Fuck around with Don Staley you want to.
Yeah, man.
I love her, dude.
Yeah, I think she's great. Another thing, though, about college football real quick is I hear... So starting this year is going to be the 12-team playoff, and I hear starting next year it's going to go to 14.
I believe it. More games, more money, more revenue.
Yeah, because what they want is they want the 5 conference champions to go.
I like that.
And then, what would that be, 9 at-large schools?
Which, if you think about it, would almost have to be the runners-up that played in the championship games.
Yeah.
Depending, I guess.
Yeah, it would probably be the 5 runner-ups, depending on how their season was. You know, if you had, like...
Yeah, true.
If you had a team that went, like for instance, I remember Jameis Winston's last year at Florida State. They played Georgia Tech in the championship. Georgia Tech was 6-6.
True.
They wouldn't get it.
I think Iowa went to the Big Ten this year and got the shit beat out of them. Right? They couldn't score no points.
Especially this year when they had so many good teams that weren't in that top 4. You know.
I do think it's going to set a lot of teams up just to get their ass beat, though.
Yeah.
Are they going to bracket it like 1 versus 12, or are they going to have like four teams get a first round bye?
I know this year with the 12, they're doing 4 teams get a first round bye.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going to do it with the 14.
So that'll be
they could still do 4.
Georgia, Alabama, like all the teams we know.
If it would have been this year, it would have been Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Missouri would have made it into the 14 playoff. 14-team playoff. We would have had 4 in there. And then you would have had, you know, probably
Washington, Oregon.
Penn State was 9-2. Penn State, Oregon, for sure. Yeah, so it's interesting, man.
More games. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man.
Because God forbid you get a big upset, dude. I'll shake everything up.
And that's what the Barstool guys were saying. They were like, it'll be like March Madness. You're not going to have a 1 seed lose to a 16, but you'll have an 11 beat a 4, or you know, and those are going to be fun. You know, those will be fun to see.
It's like what was that? Oakland beating Kentucky in the first round. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Give them boys a little bit of
shine.
You'll
have that in college football, man. Especially college football.
Yeah.
There's always upsets. Especially if you get a smaller school like you know, let's think of a school that has no shot in making it to the 4-team playoff, like
something like Tulane,
or like a like a Northern Illinois. Yeah, Tulane 10-2 last year.
Carolina.
Like Coastal Carolina going 11-1 the other year. You have them come in and play a 5 seed, you know, and hey, might have a shootout on our hands, you know. And but then they, you know, it'll all be about depth. So I'm sure the Georgias, you know, the big schools, the Michigans, I'm sure they'll be fit to make the deep runs, you know, because they got the bench behind it and stuff. But
it's the schools like Ohio State and stuff like that. They'll always be there.
Yeah, and, you know, Notre Dame's on the up and coming again.
Yep.
So, That's good. I think that's good for college football, but the NIL stuff, they definitely need to get that under control.
They do, because it's just insane. Like the
Yeah.
things that these players are figuring out that they legally can do. Like, I'm gonna just go to this school, grab a
Yeah,
bag of
that's
money, and
wild.
I'm gonna shoot
Basically
my ass.
stole.
Stole
Yeah.
the money,
Yeah.
100K,
Yeah.
then shoot straight back to Alabama.
Yep. And then we got NBA, man. The Celtics, dude, they're like 11 games ahead of the second place team.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good right now.
They're so good every year. Then they
Yep.
get into the playoffs.
You're
and
right.
They can't. You know what I mean? They can't get over that hump.
Yeah, you're right.
In that Eastern Conference.
Because I saw that last night. It tripped me out. You got in the East, it's Boston #1, and then I think it's Phillies #2, I believe, and they're 11 games behind Boston. And then you look at the West, and the first place team is the Nuggets, and 11 games behind them is the Lakers in 9th place. Like, the West is so close compared to the East. You know what I mean?
You know, they got Denver. Dallas is looking good this year, man.
Yeah. I always like to see Dallas do good, man. I like their owner, Mark Cuban. He's pretty cool.
Shark Tank.
Yep. But, dude, how about the Golden State falling apart? Draymond Green got fouled out again last night after like 7 minutes.
Steph Curry was crying.
Yeah, man. And it was bad because Draymond like fouled a guy, got called, and then he was talking shit to the ref, so the ref teed him up. And the whole team got in front of him and was like, yo, just quit talking to the ref. And then he was like, all right, I'm done. Hey, ref, you're a pussy-ass bitch.
Yeah.
Get the fuck. Like, you could read his lips. He was like, ref, you're a pussy-ass bitch. Teched him up, threw him out the game.
I love aggressive players like Draymond on the floor, but you got to shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Damn it.
Caitlin Clark's dad, they called him and like, shut the fuck up. Like, the fuck are you talking about? He told him to take her ass out. He was like, take her ass the fuck out. Like,
quit talking.
Why are we talking to the ref?
That's just unneeded penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Unneeded.
Like, you know what's going to happen. Draymond knows this shit. Like, at some point, it's like, dude, you doing this shit on purpose. Because you know you're going to be all over Sports Center. Everybody's going to be talking about you. You're one of the best big dudes, like, in this generation. You're a Hall of Famer. You're a champion Hall of Famer.
Got 3 rings, or 4 rings, 3 or 4. And, wouldn't ever have a ring if he was on a different team.
Mm-mm.
You know? But
yeah, I think Golden State's coming to an end, man. I think time's coming.
Yeah. Man, there was a sports question I wanted to ask you. It was like a this or this, like what would you pick? And I can't remember what it was. But it had me being like, man, that's one of the hardest ones I've thought of in a while. Maybe it was something to do with Derrick Rose. Yeah, it was like, do you think if Derrick Rose had never got injured, do you think he would have been like one of the top 5 players of all time?
All time, he'd have definitely been top 5 point guard of all time.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Nasty,
he
man.
was incredible.
Is he still the youngest person to win the MVP ever? Because he won it when he was like 23, I think. And at the time, he was like the youngest person to win it, I think.
That sounds
I know
about right.
LeBron was young the first time he won it too, but I can't remember that. But yeah, like, if his knees hadn't gave out on him, man.
Dude, those years whenever every year in the playoffs, you knew it was going to be the Heat versus the Bulls.
Or the Cavs whenever LeBron was on the Cavs.
Man, those were some of the best series that you'll ever see. And Derrick Rose, I don't know, man. He was just something else. It didn't even look real. It almost looked like it was computerized, some of the moves that he put on.
And it really sucked, too, whenever he, like, both his knees went out and he finally came back and he, like, went to the Knicks and he went to the Timberwolves. And he would have, every once in a blue moon, he would drop, like, a 40-point game, a 50-point game. And it's like, man, still got it, but them injuries, man.
Yeah, like it's like he go out there, hit them 40-point games, and then his knees wouldn't be right again for another month.
Yeah, I think Derrick Rose definitely would have been one of the top players ever if he had never got injured.
Oh yeah, he had it all, man.
And he might have won a ship in Chicago. They might have won a ship with
Bro, I'm telling you, I say it still to this day, and I believe it. If LeBron and all them boys wouldn't have been down there in Miami, ganged up together like they was, there wasn't nobody in the East that was gonna beat the Bulls.
Nah,
there was not.
Yep. And
they had Derrick Rose, Luol Deng,
Joakim
Noah. I mean, they had ballers.
Yeah.
Like, Deng won Defensive Player of the Year like 2 years in a row playing for Chicago. You couldn't, like, he used to lock LeBron up whenever LeBron was in Cleveland. He was like the only person that could do it.
Yeah.
And that's almost impossible. We know that.
Yep.
Y'all can hate LeBron all you want, but let's be serious.
Yeah, you can hate on him all you want. He's up there.
He's a dog.
Yeah, here we go. I remember another thing I wanted to ask you. It was a picture, and it was Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kobe, LeBron,
Jordan,
and Shaq. 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's 6. And it was like, who gets benched? KD does.
I'm benching KD.
I'm benching KD, and I don't think it's that hard of a choice.
I don't think it is
that's
either.
nothing saying like I think he's so much worse than everybody else, but I think the other 5 as a team would play better than if he was to replace Kobe or LeBron or Jordan. Like, because Steph and Shaq are on the court in that lineup.
They gotta be.
They're on the court. They're the point guard and center. You know what I mean?
And who's benching Michael Jordan, Kobe, or LeBron James? You're not doing that.
Somebody tried to make the argument. Of course, a LeBron hater made the argument you bench LeBron, but I didn't take those as credible.
I saw some
there was
Kobe
other saying Kobe, yeah, because they were like
he's a ball hog. All that.
They were like, if you bench Kobe because we already got Jordan, we don't need another Jordan, and it's like. True, both of them were ball hogs, but Kobe was a team player when he had to be.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing about Kobe. Whenever he wasn't gonna let the team, he would be like, "All right, so if y'all bums can't get the fucking job done, then I'm just gonna take every shot. We're gonna fucking win. How about that?"
Yeah, exactly.
How are you mad about that?
Right, because I mean, to show that he is a team player, the years that him and Shaq won ships, Shaq won the Finals MVP almost every time. I think Kobe won it once, but it was always Shaq. You know, I'd average 38 and 10. And the snake would be barbecue chicken.
No, the snake would be barbecue chicken. Chuck, you don't know nothing about championship basketball, Chuck. You never played in a championship game in your life.
Chuck, we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Ernie, you better tell Chuck something, Ernie.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Ernie to the Hall of Fame for broadcasters this past year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
He said, Chuckster, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was dope, right?
I like when they do them like that. They sneak up on them, catch them in a vulnerable moment, you know?
Speaking of Hall of Fame, man, Paul Heyman.
Yeah, headlining. Yeah. Now, I've been talking about this with my wrestling friends. We'll jump over. But, yeah, as of right now, Paul Heyman's going into the Hall of Fame. And I can't remember if they've announced anybody else, but they're going to have to soon because WrestleMania is in 2 weeks.
They have a few people,
Speaking of which,
I feel like
I'm
it's a lot of older.
I'm off both days.
For WrestleMania?
Yep. Saturday and Sunday. Might have to do something for that.
I hope that...
If you're off one of those days, we should definitely live stream.
Yeah, if I'm off,
we should come over here and do it because Troy and all them can be here.
WrestleMania party.
Yeah, it's April 6th and 7th. It's Saturday and Sunday.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah,
dude.
Preferably Sunday if you have to pick one of the days.
I'll check them dates because that possibly line up
Sundays
on
when
a
we get
weekend.
to watch.
I have the girls.
We get to watch Cody finish the story.
It's happening.
It's going down.
It's happening.
It's got to, man.
There's nothing else they can do after this.
I will say the Rock beating him up on this past week's Raw. I mean, that was surprising. We'll see what goes down with that. But
dude, you think they fining The Rock for his language?
No, I guarantee you, his agent or whoever does his contract got it to where they can't.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like half the segment is just like silent because The Rock's talking shit.
Yeah.
But I love this final boss version of The Rock.
I love what's going on with everything right now with the Bloodline and Cody and all of that, man. There's so many good storylines. The Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch storylines going well. That's going to be a great match. The whole Bayley going up against her old faction, going for the belt. That's a great storyline. The Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins storyline's great.
They're talking about possibly CM Punk special guest referee.
That'd be awesome, but we would see what would happen. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a cash in of the Money in the Bank on that match.
There's got to. That's what I'm saying.
Priest has had it for too long. He's got to cash it in. I hate whenever they make them hold on to it. I don't like necessarily whenever they try to cash it in the night they win it, but I really don't like whenever they hold on to it for a long time.
You forget sometimes. Like I was asking my kid, I was like, does he still have that?
Well, it's like the other friend of mine said, he was like, up until recently, since he's won the Money in the Bank, Damian Priest hasn't won a single singles match. He's lost all of them. And it's like, that's
interesting.
And they were like, that's one thing that sucks about the Money in the Bank is like, because they have that, they don't have to win anymore until they cash it in. You know what I mean? So that's another reason I don't like it whenever they hold on to it for so long.
Now, have you heard the rumors about Seth having to take time off to get back in knee surgery?
I have heard that, and that's leading a lot of people to think that's why he hasn't. Well, 100% he aggravated it, and that's why he hasn't had an actual match in a while. But he said that he was like, I'm waiting until Mania to wrestle. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's that bad that he's gonna have to get surgery on it.
I wouldn't mind, Drew McIntyre winning the match.
Drew's great, man.
Damian Priest coming out there cashing in, then you face turn Drew McIntyre.
Somebody, I saw a fan theory. Those fan theories get deep sometimes. And one of them was really good. It was have Drew beat Seth at Mania, and then the next night on Raw, Seth wants his rematch immediately. Main event of the night of Raw after Mania, Seth and Drew, they're both at a point in the match where they're both down. Damian Priest music hits. He runs out, and the Judgment Day's behind him. He cashes in his Money in the Bank. Ref is like, blah, 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 this is a triple threat now. Picks up Seth, hits him with the crucifix powerbomb, goes to pin him, and Rhea Ripley pulls the referee out the ring.
Oh, she would.
And Damian gets up and looks, and is like, what the hell? They jump Damian. And then Drew McIntyre gets up, pins Damian. He's the new champ, and then he walks off with Judgment Day, and that was like the game plan the whole time.
I kind of gave me chills
for Damian to get replaced by Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre's the champ. That'll revive the Judgment Day back to where they need to be at.
Then it leaves you with a good feud with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre and everybody.
The whole Judgment Day, really. And now you got Damian Priest as a face, which I think it's been due.
Yeah.
And then
he was a face when he first came. I
think it's time for Damian Priest to be one of the top guys.
I think really it is too. Triple H don't do nothing but talk good about him. I mean, he's good. He's good on the stick. He's good in the ring. He's got the body type.
There's rumors of MJF coming to WWE because he's supposedly about to be a free agent.
Man, that's what I've been waiting on.
That'd be great.
I just don't know if they would ruin his character, man. You never know. Like, where would he fit in?
Right. I don't want to sound like a hater, but AEW has gotten very bad.
Oh, it's terrible. Let's tell it how it is.
It's fun to watch the matches, but the storylines. The women's division.
That women's division is awful, bro.
It's so
They
bad.
need some developmental.
And they just brought in Sasha Banks, which her name's Mercedes something now. But apparently,
biggest female contract in professional wrestling.
The rumor is she's getting paid so much money that pissed off all the other female wrestlers over there. So, but she also was the biggest name free agent.
Dude, you see that match? They brought this girl in, and their whole thing was, WWE took me off TV. They did this, they did that, and then, dude, she botched, knocked that girl unconscious.
Yeah,
that was bad, dude. That was a scary looking one because she was out,
and
bro.
That's why
that shit looked like a broken neck.
And that's why, man, I be hating on Nia Jax, man. She's hurt so many people in the ring.
I don't know how
why is she still one of the top wrestlers?
I don't know how she still has a job.
Dude, that match, that main event.
Her promos.
It's been a while since we've done this.
Her promos are cringy, bro.
It's been a while since we've done this podcast. Dude, did you watch Elimination Chamber from last month?
I did.
Dude, the main event was Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax because they're both from over that way.
Yep.
And dude, if it was not Rhea Ripley, that match would have been horrible. Nia Jax just not selling anything. Rhea Ripley hit her with a Hurricane Rana, and she basically stood still and then stumbled over to the ropes. It was so bad, man.
It's terrible.
And it's like, yo, your main event, I'm never having Nia Jax's main event ever again now.
I don't know what she's done in her entire career to make them see her like that. I really don't. I don't know if it's just her relationship with the bloodline, her family.
And I think that they like to have a big, looks unbeatable character in the women's division. I get that too. Yeah,
but is she the only one that you could find the past 10 years? I feel like that's come on now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens though. Shout out to the helicopter outside if you can hear it. But yeah, so WrestleMania's coming up. I'm excited, man. All the storylines are looking good.
Sleeper match, dude. Match of the night. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso.
It's going to be match of the night. It's not sleeper at all.
No, I think,
dude, and I hope they give them time. I hope they give them at least 20, 25 minutes to do that match.
Yeah, they have to.
I'm interested to see who's the surprise tag team that shows up for that ladder match because they're going to have at least one surprise team show up. That's going to be fun. I hope they give that match time.
Who's all in right now?
Well, the champs are
It's Damien and Finn, right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah, Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember Jay and Jay and Cody won it, and then I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like them being like completely shit faced at the presser, that's why they lost it so fast. Good job, y'all fucked it up. Like,
I think so. It'll be them, and then I believe the Viking guys are in it. I think the
DIY.
Yeah, I think they're in it. Dude, I really don't know who else is in it.
I know DIY is in it. The Judgment Day.
Primetime Players, isn't that those guys' names?
Yep.
They're going to be in it. The Street Profits, isn't that their name?
Street Profits.
Yeah.
There you go. Montez
They're
Ford.
awesome. Yeah, they're awesome.
They're great.
I think New Day's going to be in it. Kofi and Xavier Woods. It'd be a good night for Big E to show up and throw some bones.
Oh man, when I saw Big E was at the Elimination Chamber, or maybe it was the event before that, I was hoping that maybe he got cleared, but
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Did they ever do like a nice retirement goodbye to Big E, or they?
I don't think so, because there's still the hope that he might come back. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Man, you see they got the first 3 episodes of the new season of Dark Side of the Ring's out.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, they're fire. The first episode's about Earthquake. It's pretty dope. The second episode's about Buff Bagwell. Great episode,
dude.
Great episode.
I was at WCW Thunder when I was 8 years old. Whenever he broke his neck. Yeah, I was there, and that was when I realized that you couldn't convince me it wasn't real.
Right.
You couldn't do it. Like, you're lying to me. You want to ruin my life.
Right.
But when I saw that, dude, I mean, it was crazy. You could hear. I was all the way in the top, man. You could hear his neck break. And that was like Wolfpack versus the NWO White.
Dude,
it was like,
and it was so simple. Dude went for a bulldog, and he slipped out. And when the guy landed, his head just ran into his back, and it just compressed his neck. And that was wild.
And the first thing I'll remember this like it was yesterday. Lex Luger freaked out.
Yeah.
The match stopped. He ran. You could see him like calling people. He jumped down there and was checking on Buff. And I'm a little kid and I'm like, why does Lex Luger care? Like, kill him. Like, pin him right now. He's done.
And then my man, he came back 3 months later after getting like neck surgery and stuff, man.
Dude, Buff was...
Yeah, he was the man.
Tough,
he had a wild life too. After wrestling, he had a wild life. He became a male gigolo.
Did he really?
Yeah, dude. They go into detail. It's a good episode.
Oh, I got to watch that.
Dark Side of the Ring. And the third episode is about Terry, and I cannot remember his last name, but he was one of the members of the Freebirds, the Fabulous Freebirds.
Michael Hayes was their manager.
Yeah, it was Terry something. He was the big guy. He was like the big, chunky country dude. And, man, his life was tragic because he left the Freebirds to go do New Japan and do WWE. And then he overdosed on pills on an airplane and was in a coma. And when he came back, he lost part of his brain function but was still wrestling. He was straight, like, blank-faced and shit. Like, yeah, his whole, like, Mick Foley's on there talking about it, how he was different after the coma and stuff. And, like, yeah, man, it was a really good episode. Oh, yeah, here you go. For tobacco use only.
Absolutely. That's that CBD, man.
Yeah.
Good legal stuff. Got that from the Indian store.
Man. Did you also see that Undertaker had a podcast interview recently, and they asked him if he was happy the way that his streak ended at Mania, where he lost to Brock and then a couple years later lost to Roman. And he was like, at the time, it seemed like the right idea for Brock to be the one that, ended the streak. But he's like, that's kind of overlooked now, and now it's the Roman Reigns loss is really looked at as like the one that ended it. And he said that looking back on it now, it should have been Bray Wyatt who ended the streak.
Ooh. That didn't do anything for Brock's character. No. He was already Brock Lesnar.
Right.
But Bray, dude, are you ready for this Bray documentary come out?
I'm not ready.
Dude,
I'm not ready.
My poor kid, dude, she just saw the trailer for it, and she was breaking down. If you say Bray Wyatt in front of my kid, she's gonna cry, dude. It's rough, crazy, man. Because you forget sometimes that Bray, like, you almost just waiting for him to come back, and then you see something, you're like, oh yeah, like Bray's not here. Like, bro, it's devastating. Like, there's not gonna be another character. Like, you got your Undertaker, you had your Bray Wyatt. I mean,
Yeah, man.
Many of people have tried to come in and have that dark role to be that character, but it takes a certain person.
It's always tragic when a pro wrestler passes away too young, but you see a lot of these guys where they're retired already and they pass away, and it's like, man, they're still young, but like they got to finish their career or whatever. Mm-hmm. With Bray, it's just like, man, he didn't get to finish. Mm-mm. You know, he didn't get to finish what he had lined up. That was going to be so awesome.
So dope, man.
You know, and I think that's the worst part about it.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
man.
He's
one of one. I mean, I know it's early, but I don't think there would have been one person mad about him going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, apparently they're talking about doing it next year. I don't know how true that is.
They probably just wanted to make sure that Paul got his headlining year. And have Bray Wyatt headline the next year.
There's a lot of talks. They don't know who's going to induct him, because if you're putting him in there for what he's done in WWE, it should definitely be Brock Lesnar, but he's got all that allegation stuff surrounding him, so there's no way that that's going to happen.
I feel like maybe somebody from ECW, man.
I think it should be
maybe
the Dudleys.
like Dudleys, Terry Funk.
The only issue with the Dudleys is he never really represented them as a manager. Mm-hmm. What I think should happen is they should have somebody induct him, whether it's ECW or whatever, and during his like speech, they should have all the old ECW guys come out on stage. You know what I mean? They're
Dudleys, gonna be in Philly too,
Tommy
bro.
Dreamer, Sabu if he's in town. You know,
Mick Foley needs to be out there.
Now I could see Mick Foley inducting him. I could see that happening.
He had that faction back in the day. On ECW, remember he was like a telephone with the big cell phone.
Yeah.
What was that faction? Who was all in that? It was like Arn Anderson was in there. Like it was some names in there, man. Like
I just remember the best faction in ECW was the Dudleys. Whenever it was like 8 of them.
Speaking of the Dudleys, you seen like on Bully Ray's podcast, people have been asking him about beef with him and Devon, and he's like, where do y'all get this bullshit?
No beef. He wanted to re-sign with WWE. I didn't, so he did. He became a producer.
Yeah.
And I moved out of Florida because I did. Like, he's like, I didn't want to stay in Florida. So I moved back home to the Northeast, you know? Yeah, that's wild, man.
Go Dudleys forever, bro.
Yeah, man.
Wouldn't that be some shit to show up at WrestleMania?
That'd be sick.
Dude,
that'd be sick. Just have them come out, hit a couple 3Ds, and get out of there.
Get out of there, yeah.
Yep. That's all that need to happen.
That's worth price of admission.
Yeah,
Let me see somebody get 3D through a ladder. You know what I mean? And I'm happy.
Troy, you going live tonight?
Oh yeah, about 9.
Okay.
I'm not in any hurry because I'm running late as shit.
Yeah, me too, dude. I took one of them. Didn't know I was gonna nap for 4-hour naps. It was great.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, we got that shit's wild, man. You got anything else coming up?
Nah, man.
Any other new albums? Anything like that?
Oh man, we're gonna drop this song that me and Troy recorded here. Probably in about 2 weeks, man. It's called We Rise. I haven't put out any advertisement for it. We've just been busy with work and real life outside of that. So I want the rollout to be right for it. But I'm definitely dropping that with a music video soon.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite songs I've ever done. You know, I've grown a lot since my last few albums. You know, a lot of the content that I was writing and rapping about is just not a part of my life anymore. So I'm pretty excited about the new music, you know, and I'm on my grown man shit now, as they would say. I'm standing on business. SOB. Yeah. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Pac-Man Jones?
Yeah.
Dude, Pac-Man Jones is a legit signed rapper, bro. Like, go Pac-Man.
It's popping off, though. Everybody's saying that bullshit now, man.
Yeah.
Standing on business.
SOB.
Yeah. Oh, Drewski out there doing that.
Yo, Drew, did you watch the Drewski Theo Von podcast?
Yeah, man.
Dude, Theo Von is an idiot, bro.
He's so funny.
I can't tell if he's being serious or not. That's what I love about him, bro. Like, you can't, that Christmas Cat Williams statue, dog, I haven't laughed so hard when it popped up and it showed him walking out with that fucking nutcracker, bro. I'm done.
He's like, yeah, man, I got this.
He said, hey, I got a statue of him in my house. Yeah, it's like a Christmas Cat Williams.
Oh, man. Then that Drewski had that show he did that was making fun of that P. Diddy show, Jordan Band or whatever. And he's got some people out there. He brings that that Crip Mac, that gang member that come, and he's like, "This is how we cook in prison, Crip." He's like, "Yo, if anybody's eating already, we can run a fade right now."
I seen one. He had a girl on there, and she was like trying to sing and stuff, and he was like, he goes, "You got OnlyFans?" She goes, "Yes, OnlyFans." He goes, "Here, sign right here."
Yeah, sign right here.
Yeah.
That one dude walked in with the beret on or whatever. He's like, "Get this dude out of here. This motherfucker looks stupid."
They had the one, I think, dude come up there. He was singing "Buy You a Drink," and Drewski's like, and like singing along and like hitting ad libs in the back. That dude is hilarious.
Yeah, he is hilarious, man.
Yeah, I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
Yeah,
he was on the Breakfast Club, and he was like, "Dude, that dude's so drunk." He was like, He was like, he definitely doesn't know that I'm famous and that I'm, like playing a role. He was like, "I don't even think he knows that I'm black."
Hilarious, man.
They said that dude has like a full social media team, and he lives in his producer's backyard in a tent. Can you believe that?
That's hilarious, man.
They was like, "Yeah, dude, they just feed him. They feed him burgers and beers and just record him talking shit all day long."
That's perfect.
Tide's gonna get him. Blitz, Bama, blitz. I saw a TikTok today. I don't know if I sent it to you, but it was a girl like at work, and she was like, when you call your boyfriend and he's already beers deep, hanging out with the boys, and it's the audio from Drewski, and that dude was like, "I don't give a piss about nothing but Tide."
I saw one TikTok. I said it to you. It tripped me out. It was like, when I'm 10 beers deep and you flirtatiously tell me you want to wrestle, and this dude taking his robe off and he's got a full-on singlet on underneath. Man.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, I hope they don't ban TikTok. I don't care what nobody says. They keep trying to ban it.
Really?
I like it too much, yeah.
Why?
Because they think it's Chinese-owned software, which I think it is.
It
but
is.
Like, I'm not posting nothing that the Chinese government.
I'm about to say, if they pull something off my TikTok and they actually think that it's something of interest, that's their fault.
It's just
it's
clips
not.
of this fucking show.
Clips of us talking shit.
Yep, I might repost a couple Commie House crowd videos.
Those are good.
Dude, it'd be getting wild.
Dude, I saw one.
House,
I don't know if it was Violent End or maybe it was Refuser. They posted one. It was like clips from the show, and they had Finito from T-Kief playing in the background on TikTok. I was like, all right,
They got the one, the clip that they got on TikTok that kind of went viral. It's got like a lot of views. It's a video from a show they did last month where they had Severed by Dawn from Columbia, a hardcore band out of Columbia. They had them headline, and it was their first show in almost 6 months because their drummer's still recovering from that skateboard accident.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out Lumpy, man.
Yeah, Lumpy, we love you, brother.
Yeah, look up Lumpy GoFundMe. It's already raised like over $60,000. Like, kid's got a lot of love coming his way, man. Wish him speedy recovery. But it was there. It was.
Man, that's been 6 months.
Yeah, I think it happened in. Yeah, I think it happened in November. I believe so. Yeah, November or December. But
be careful out there, y'all. Protect your dome.
Yeah, man. Wear your helmets.
Wear your helmet, man.
Skateboards ain't nothing to play with, man. Nothing's really anything to play with. But we wish him a speedy recovery. And but anyways, it was his band Severed by Dawn's first show since then, and it got wild in there, dude. When they started playing that, there's the video that they've got on their TikTok that's got the most views, and you see it and. You just see a dude in a t-shirt come fighting through the crowd. That's JoJo. That's the guy who owns the house. He just goes in and starts fucking swinging on everybody, dude. It's sick. So sick, man.
Living the dream.
Yeah, man. So definitely check out Commie House. We got some shows coming up. And don't forget about April 12th, Friday, April 12th at A&B Bar and Grill in Lugoff. We got Imaginary Enemy and our boys in Angry Chair, tribute to Alice in Chains, playing the greatest band of all time.
That's right.
Yeah, Alice in Chains for the Hall of Fame.
Please, God, put Alice in Chains in the Rock Hall of Fame. This is getting ridiculous now. It really is. And we might be biased, but I mean, come on. Yeah. Come on. Look at the bands that's already in there and tell me why Alice in Chains isn't. Yeah. Give me a good reason. You can't.
There's Alice in Chains has been a band as long as anybody, and for them to still be able to go after their lead singer passed away is awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, they're one of the few bands that did it right, I think.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They gave it the time. They let it come together naturally, man.
Yeah. Shout out Alice in Chains.
Still jamming. Yeah, that will be hosted by SATU TV. We'll be out there live in full effect, man. We'll be interviewing band members, fans. You know, we're going to keep that content coming.
Yeah, and we will figure something out for WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's happening.
If we're both free, we'll definitely do a live stream. But yeah, so that's April 12th, and once again, every dollar goes to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. And April 20th, we got a show at the Comedy House in Columbia, and then May 18th, keep an eye out for that.
TBA, baby.
You can follow me. I'm Billy Bates on Instagram. Yeah.
Get at me at JonesX McShine on all platforms. Make sure you follow, subscribe.
Yep.
TikTok, all that stuff. If you want to see me make fun of us, TikTok is the place to do it. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Yep. And you subscribe to this YouTube page, share it, get the podcast out there.
It's real grass. They're growing real grass.
Real grass. Yeah. Oh man. I'm sure we'll get a couple clips out of this one too. Yeah, man. So just follow us on social media, and we'll see you guys next time, man.
Love you guys. We out.